You've probably seen it in the news yourself, this increasing wave of wildfires. Think about the devastating wildfires that occurred in Los Angeles in January 2025 that destroyed a total of 16,000 homes. Or when the Netherlands saw its biggest wildfire ever in 2021 that burned down 800 hectares of natural area and claimed the homes of its residents. In the last year alone, 170 wildfires were recorded in the Netherlands, but since that year was relatively wet, the number of wildfires was drastically lower, as there were over double the amount the year before. With global temperatures continuing to rise, experts warn that the number of wildfires will increase significantly in the years to follow. Global temperatures are rising due to climate change. These rising temperatures cause longer periods of droughts, and drier areas arise with an increasing amount of dead wood, which function like natural timber boxes and cause a larger and more intensely burned area. The burning vegetation of these increasing areas cause more emissions when its stored carbon is released into the atmosphere, this way amplifying the greenhouse effect and causing global temperatures to rise faster. This once again initiates the cycle, creating a positive feedback loop which perpetually fuels itself, ultimately meaning that fires will continue to occur and increase in frequency and intensity. This is called the fire feedback loop. Understanding this relentless cycle highlights the urgent need for mitigation measures. Luckily, there are ways to mitigate the risk of wildfires that are already being used worldwide. Remote sensing, for example, can give us insights into future risks of possible wildfires. The monitoring of vegetation conditions before, during, and after fire allows the better use of prevention measures and quicker response times if a wildfire might occur. One of the prevention measures that could be used is prescribed burning. Prescribed burning is the preventive burning of natural fuels like dead vegetation, this way reducing the risk of fire spreading further or ideally occurring in the first place. Two primary methods of prescribed burning are currently being used, namely broadcast burning and pile burning. With broadcast burning, a large area is burned to create a border, while during pile burning, multiple piles of fuel are burned in a small, controlled area. These methods of prescribed burning are being used globally. For example, in the Netherlands, it's used in the conservation of heather landscapes on the Hoge Veluwe, while in the United States of America, they use it for the conservation of pine forests in Montana. There are other measures that can be helpful, such as thinning of canopies, weeding, and the removal of dead wood. While strategies with such like measures do greatly reduce the risk of wildfires, they can also negatively impact the biodiversity of the area, since you're removing essential resources from the environment. This requires a more careful balancing of priorities, given that fire resistance and biodiversity conservation can be conflicting objectives in the area you aim to conserve. You now know that wildfires are growing in both intensity and frequency, and the urgency to act grows with it. By understanding the fire feedback loop, we can forge and implement adaptive and balanced mitigation strategies, allowing us to break this cycle, protecting both people and nature alike.